Hi Archers! Archero devs posted a new teaser, and that's 2 new weapons that will be coming to Archero. In this video, I'll be showing you these weapons as well as discussing and speculate what they'll be all about before the update is released. My name is Teeds and I make many Archero videos from guides, gameplays, updates and more. Please do subscribe and click the bell for more Archero content. The first weapon that I would like to talk about is the Bright Spear. Archero states, contains immense energy. You're defeated before you know it. When attacking a similar target, damaging dealt will be increased. As you can see, there are 2 images here for the spear. One looks pretty basic and the other one looks pretty cool looking. What I'm thinking is that the first image of the spear is what it looks like in its common variation, and the second image is at a higher variation, maybe at epic level. This is just a guess. I only think this because the first image literally reminds me of like the starter weapons you get in RPGs and such. I could be wrong though, because our current weapons currently do not have any skin variations. Maybe they are just implementing this, maybe they're just showing examples of what it could be, but in my opinion, the first image looks incredibly basic. From this description alone, it's a little confusing. You're defeated before you know it, which means they'll defeat you pretty quickly, I think. The monsters, when attacking a similar target, meaning the same monster, apparently, damage dealt would be increased. I'm not sure what this means in this context. Maybe if you attack the same monster in a row, the damage will increase, which means that this would be strong against, for example, the rock throwing boss who spawns smaller versions of itself, or the bee boss, or for the mobs when you're in a room full of skeletons or scythe mages. I'm assuming it's something like that. Reddit mod Limatique has mentioned that it's a high chance that this is the epic stat for the weapon. Now, since it's a spear, it would be so cool if it was a melee based weapon. I made a video a while ago on a game called Tales Rush, and the hero in that game was wielding a sword. The gameplay for that was pretty unique and fresh. I'm not sure if Archero will implement this idea as well, but if they did, it would definitely spice up the game. It has been stated that it is up for discussion at the moment. I feel that it is more likely that it will be a throwing spear instead of a melee spear. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just leaning more on the idea that it's going to be thrown, as a melee-based weapon would probably be extremely hard to use with Archero's current bosses and monsters. Because one of the key strategies in this game is to keep your distance, especially with bosses that have strong projectiles. It would revolve on a completely new playstyle and gameplay, which would take time to relearn. The option to have this pathway though is something I would like to see in Archero, if not now, I hope someday. As I said before, there is no confirmation on what the spear will be. Limatique has said it's still up for debate, so it's basically still under discussion, and the other weapon is already classified as a ranged weapon. The second weapon that we have is the Stalker Staff. The staff of all staffs. No one can escape. The lower the target's HP, the higher the crit rate. As I said earlier, this may just be an epic stat for the Stalker Staff. As you can see from the image, we have a basic starter looking version and then a high tier neat looking version. Because it's a staff, I'm thinking it may be some sort of all projectile attack. It does have crit on it, so it will work very nicely with Helix and crit abilities as well, as I'm sure the crit will stack. It sounds pretty strong honestly, since it is a crit based weapon. It will be very interesting to compare this weapon to the bow weapon that has a crit stat. There isn't too much to say about the staff because it's just another ranged weapon in the end. I'm curious about how both will turn out, especially what the decision will be about the spear. There are some cons bringing new weapons, as cool as they are. I think it's worth to discuss this. I want to ask you guys how you feel about Archero adding new weapons, especially if you're a long-time player. I've played Archero for around 7 months at this point, and I have all epic weapons in the game so far. I don't have many chapters left, but farming these weapons will take me a while to get, especially to a level where I would consider using it over my current weapon. Another issue is that this increases the item pool. So if you're farming a specific item, it will now be harder to get because the 2 new items have been added into the pool, which means a decrease in drop chance for the item that you really want. This also goes for the chest openings and item vendor selections. And the last issue I thought about is I think we need improvements with our current weapons. This doesn't apply to everyone here just yet, but we currently have no additional stats to Legendary and Perfect Epic. So it takes a very long time to reach Perfect Epic and Legendary, but unfortunately, once reaching those, you only gain more damage or health or whichever, but you don't gain any additional stats. I think that better stats should be implemented once reaching these tiers in your gear, because you're either grinding for a very long time or you've spent quite a bit of money to get these tiers. And that is all for today's video. What do you archers think about these new weapons? What would you like to see in these new weapons, and what other new weapons would you like to be added into Archero in the future? I will be making individual weapon guides for all weapons in the game with in-depth stats, tier lists, and more specifically for the weapons, including the new weapons when they're out. I thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and click the bell for more Archero videos. Any likes and comments would be super rad, and I hope to see you again for the next one. Bye!